Welcome to Fasting Space. So nice to have you here today. Fasting Space on the Simple Fasting channel, we are on a quest to find the most powerful forces of weight loss in the galaxy. How's that for a big vision? All right. The most incredible weight loss analogies, and today we have stumbled upon one, the weight loss supernova. Supernova, one of the most awesome, incredible, destructive, and creative forces in the entire universe. It's a star that is converting mass into incredible energy, creating this brilliant, beautiful display. It's giving us a cosmic analogy, galactic scale analogy for the weight loss process, the health rejuvenation process that we are trying to head toward in 2026. We're trying to bring as much energy, positivity, and light to this process as we possibly can, and you're not going to find anything bigger. If you're trying to bring light to something, how about a supernova? Our process, we're converting weight into energy. There's a transformation. It brings renewal. This is the process. This is what we're going to see with the analogy of a supernova. Really excited to share these thoughts with you. We'll skip the launch sequence. If you were at the space station one we did the other day, I went through a whole launch sequence. We'll do it again. It was fun, but we're going to launch ourselves right out into space. And we try to open our mind to what's possible in 2026, to have an absolutely incredible experience, way beyond what we thought was possible. I want to share some incredible insights with you about a supernova as we're trying to frame our mind. Let's get some really big thinking. Get out of our own head, get out of our own cycles and processes for a while, and just look at this image of floating through space. Who can even imagine the scale, just the vastness of reality? It's inspiring to me. And so we think of a single star, one little point of light as we're traveling through this process. Maybe for 1 billion years, for time that is beyond our ability to comprehend. It's running. A star is a gigantic fusion reactor. It is taking elements and fusing them together. And as those elements come together, hydrogens come together, form helium. There's the synergy there that releases energy that was present in the two, and now the one it doesn't need it, the energy flies out. That's the heat and light that a star is making. And that process will run, and the star is burning. And it keeps fusing and fusing elements together. Millions upon countless millions of years, until one fateful moment, when it has fused everything into more and more complex substances. See, every fusion reaction, it turns out, releases energy until you get up. Do you remember from high school, perhaps, periodic table? You get all the way up to iron. And when you hit iron, the fusion reaction stops producing energy and it starts sucking it up again. And so in a moment, the star goes dark. The thing gets covered in iron. It goes iron. The gravity collapses it in. The star collapses. The outer layers bounce off this impenetrable core, and the whole thing explodes in a supernova. How wild is that? It sounds just so incredible. The biggest explosion, the biggest experience, basically, in the entire universe. And then if you really want to open your mind to the craziness of reality, that iron that formed this shell around it, that trapped in all the energy of the star, that generated these immense temperatures, is blown out across the universe when this thing explodes. And in the incredible heat, uncalculable heat in this is what fuses all the higher elements, like gold. So gold and silver, uranium, all this stuff is formed in the heart of a dying star, and it is blown out across the universe in this incredible event. And this has been happening for billions of years. And if we are to believe what all the observations of astronomers and such tell us, which I am inclined to do, the actual iron that is flowing through our bloodstream, that is giving oxygen to our cells, was formed in this process. The end of the life of a star, blown out across the universe through countless time, coalesced here on this planet, and is now forming the very bodies that we are living. The iron, the calcium in our bones, formed in the heart of a star. We are a collection of stardust. Is that not one of the most awe-inspiring things you've ever heard? To me, I'm overwhelmed personally just to try to contemplate the incredible process that has led us to this moment. And so to me, when we're looking for some incredible inspiration, a process to get out of a cycle, to think, oh, the history, the habits, the pressure, the society, the things. Like, let's take a super deep breath and just float out in this type of space for just a moment. What if we can have a supernova in 2026? The same concept. We've been in a process for a long period of time. We reach a moment when things change. It happens. Boom. Maybe that's the decision point. Maybe, like we said in our session last week, we hit the bottom of the cycle. Maybe we've already been past that. Maybe we don't have to go through it yet. Maybe we say, man, I hit a low point and now I am moving forward. That was the moment that things changed. And now I am on a path. I am moving forward. And that path is about letting go of the past. Stars going supernova. Stars letting go of the past. A billion years it was something, and then it says, you know what? It's time to be something new. And that is like the caterpillar in the cocoon, and it's like time to fly. And some truly incredible things happen in that moment, including the fact that the star itself, even with this incredible explosion, is not even gone. The core of it stays. And in that moment, some really incredible things can happen. I'm not an astronomer, okay? I've just been reading over the weekend about it. But one of the incredible things that can happen is that the star can turn into what's called a neutron star, which is one of the most incredible places in the universe. The entire core of the star remains when everything else is blown away. the core stays and it collapses. And if it forms a neutron star, it'd be like as dense as our entire sun, but crammed into a sphere the size that is like 12 miles across. 12 miles across, the entire sun collapsing into just this immensely dense, and then it glows this brilliant blue, and it has these streams of light that flow out of it. It can form called a pulsar, like a cosmic lighthouse. Little cosmic lighthouse. Incredible density. So this is giving us also incredible analogies of a process. Say weight loss, stars losing weight, right? Drills down, the core remains, this incredible energy glowing. It's like lasts forever, basically. Sending out light. So this is what we want in a weight loss process, a transformation. Letting go of things that no longer serve us. Getting to the core is what the star is doing. The core of the star. Releasing light and energy. And in that creative process, it's creating things of beauty, which we say things that we want, things of health, creating something new. The gold. Say, what is the weight loss gold that we are trying to create? A way of being in the universe, right? Here in this place that's incredible, that's in alignment with the way we want to be. Not the way anyone else wants us to be. Following our path, our process. So this is where I'm going to say, let's walk in this direction today. The process that happens in our body, we're not a fusion reactor, right? But the process that we have is an energy dissipating system. A star is an energy dissipating system. It's taking elements. It's running them through a process that releases heat and light. We are a dissipating system. We have a certain amount of energy in us. We release that through our respiratory process to run every cell in our body that is always using energy. And we release heat, and I learned the other day on a microscopic level, we also are producing light. Not necessarily on the visible spectrum, but we have light nonetheless. And so that was so encouraging to me when I think glowing. All right, this is what we want, the positivity. Leaning into the incredible experience of what is happening. The body is running and we don't have to do anything to make it happen. And to let this thing run in its optimal state, so much of what we have to do is actually not doing, or at least one of the things is to not do for a period of time. This is the fasting process. This is the open space. Here we're floating through space, thinking of these incredible events. Okay, we are floating through space. Right now, on a spaceship called Earth, is floating us through space. In this metaphor, right, this is what we have the opportunity to be doing in our body, metaphorically and in reality, in a fasting space. Think of actually opening up the space, letting the metabolism run like that star. The star is not drawing in more energy. It's utilizing these vast reserves that it has, sending that energy out into space. Okay, we can be our own little star. We create our own space. Times where we voluntarily say, hey, no food is coming in here for a time because I am a powerful being full of energy, and I'm going to let this process run, and I'm going to send that energy out into the space I have created. That's how the energy that we have, say body fat that we don't want, we release it It is energy. This is taking us into Einstein, right? E equals mc squared, right? Do you remember that? Energy is equal to mass times the square of the speed of light. All right, so now we're getting into this. It's showing us that energy and matter, the mass, is the same thing. And so we can bring that into our body. We realize it's true in a star and it's true in our body. Like the difference when you start to look is not so big. We're made out of the same stuff. And when we have matter that is us that we don't want, we can release it as energy. And that is energy to power our body and life. In a fasting space, we can flow through it with the energy contained within us. We don't need anything else. We are not so dependent on consumption of things as we thought. The body is designed to be able to do it. It is a natural process that we can use to help us flow through this existence and bring things into balance. Anybody out there use a little balance these days? Oh man. Take a deep breath. Realize the balance is here within us. We don't have to find it anywhere outside of ourselves. We can create the balance that we are seeking in our own life right now with simple, free tools that we all have available to us. Fasting, to me, that foundational layer, the space that gives the body the ability to run in its natural state without anything getting in the way of what it wants to do. And then to the extent that we need it, we add on the healthy food, the nutrition that gives the body the foundational building blocks that it needs to rebuild the system anew in the regeneration. Like you look into space, down below me here now, you see that glowing cloud, that's the nebula. The nebula is formed from stars that went supernova long ago, and they left this cosmic dust. And over incredible amounts of time, those nebula recoalesce and form new stars. That's the regeneration. This is the cycle that we want in our body. We're letting go of things that don't serve us. The energy is flowing out. That process is creating the gold, the incredible richness that allows new cycles of things to flourish. We want to be creating the environment within our body where something new can happen. New life, new possibilities. This is the great thing about a new year. A fresh start, a chance to move in a new direction. Creating a new version of ourselves. It's time to be new. 2026, time to be new. The weight loss supernova, the opportunity to clear away all the old ways of thinking, all the old habits and patterns, reset it. Moving on to something totally different, totally unique. Creating the raw materials of something new and exciting. Drilling down to that strongest core of the neutron star. Becoming something new. That's what we've talked about on the channel, the creative process. We're not just sitting here on some Excel sheet tracking, calories in, calories out every day, turning our whole life into numbers and thinking, if I just do this number versus that and the thing. Okay, we are like opening our minds to just creating a way of being. This is how we create an experience, a human experience, not like a robot, not like we're just trying to fuel, some sort of program. We're not a computer, okay? Like, we think, man, there's a lot of people in this world. Every time I turn on something, people saying, okay, AI this or that, and like the future, okay, is maybe it'll be good, you know? Have some computers, do some thinking for us, okay? But what resonates with you right now, floating through a scene like this, okay? Just turning our life into numbers, treating everybody like robots, or say as a human being something more than that. Human being is an emotional being. Like, we don't just crunch numbers, we have experiences, we live a life. And to me, we start opening up our mind to something like this is what I say is like, let's truly start living. Can 2026 be like, we're just going to trust a little bit. We don't have to balance every equation. We don't have to have a numerical answer for every process. We don't have to digitize and quantize our entire existence. We can look through this and we can see that the universe has been on a process and a cycle for time that is inconceivable to us. And we are here in this blink of a cosmic eye. We have an opportunity right here, right now, to be a part of it. And to me, I say I want to live it. I don't want to calculate it. And to me, that helps me take a deep breath. To me, that feels centering and grounding. Because I don't know, how do you feel in your life? I mean, I certainly feel like I don't have everything figured out. I don't have answers to every sort of thing that is happening. But I know that I am present here, and I know that this has meaning and value. And I know that I can sit here in 2026 and I can give it my best shot. That I can take the energy that is within me. This is what I want to do. And not only just use that energy to power the body, but I can use that energy. This is my big goal. Transform that energy, not just into metaphorical light, not even real light and heat in some physical sense, but into love and kindness and compassion. This is what a human being is really, right? This is why you're not going to replace human beings with a computer or an algorithm. Human being, we have the opportunity here to our family, to our friends, to people that we don't even know, to radiate out love and light in this year. See, that is a way of being in the world. This is so much deeper than weight loss, right? This is what I tell people, but doesn't that sound good? I mean, I'm just sharing a vision that I have for my life. I don't think that I'm, at that place, but it's what I am aspiring to. More than any health process. Like, what is the deepest layer of health? Like, say we never accomplished some health goal that we really want, but we expanded our ability to reach out in love and kindness to people. Say, wouldn't that be incredible? And wouldn't it be the case that if we are growing and expanding in that fashion, isn't that the type of lightness, the type of way of being in the world that is also going to help us accomplish every physical health thing that we ever want to accomplish? I think it is. I hope it is. If that type of thing sounds good to you, I say then just make it the reality that we want. That's what I am going to say. Let's make it our reality. Remove the heavy outer layers. Okay, that's the star. That's the supernova. This is the idea we're going toward. We're letting go of that. Letting go of it sound very gentle. Supernova, nothing gentle about it. It's a powerful explosion away from it. It says, get away from me. So I was exploring throughout the fall this idea, intentional intensity. I like analogies like this. Some gentle music floating through space. It's kind of like the sailboat analogy we have. Not too much work to do, okay? Let fasting do the work. Like in space, no gravity, nothing holding us down, no anchors. We're just floating forward on the little momentum we have. I love that analogy. But sometimes, right, it's also okay. There's the other side of it. Bring some intentional intensity. Supernova about as intense as you can possibly get. So sometimes I make a face like this and I say, I want to bring it, I want to bring some serious human intensity into a situation. Do you ever feel like that in your life? We're like, we have seasons to things. This is why I love the seasons. Seasons showing us, okay, there's a time to rest. That's the winter. Maybe this is the season you're really in. Say, hey, look, trees are asleep, everything calm. Nothing happening, nothing really growing that we can see. It's like just a time to float through a season. But then like we head into the spring and you look at the spring and everything is going, right? And the leaves are building out and like everything is happening. And so you don't have to wait for that. Whenever the season is right in your life, like you look to the stars, you look and you see the supernova and you say, sometimes this huge stretch of time went by and then the star said, we are going for something big right now. And if you feel that, New Year's kind of a time like that, right? We blow up some fireworks and, maybe there's an analogy there, like we're blowing some stuff up in life, and it's a celebration and it's something new. Supernova, the biggest celestial firework you'll ever come across, is a big celebration, like literally clouds full of gold flying across the universe, sending out every element that is necessary for life and flourishing. It's a cosmic party. And if we want to move in a really positive direction, 2026 is like, man, we could do better than to look at this cosmic party, supernova explosion of transformation and creation. And we could give ourselves a dose of that. So I'm going to bring the most intensity actually that I could. And like when intensity is not coming from a place of guilt, like so often intensity, I think in a weight loss space, is coming from places of guilt and pressure. I hope what we're doing on this channel is just letting go of all that, of getting as far away from that as possible. We're on a rocket ship to the other side of the galaxy from anything like that. And if you've seen some of the ideas that we are trying to sink in here today, just an incredible space of love and light, as far away from guilt and judgment and pressure and stress as possible. Floating, okay? Not heavy, light, no anchors, no gravity even. Everything light and open and positive. To me, that is the most incredible environment of health that we can create. This is what we want. The most powerful mindset that we can possibly create. And from that place, we have discarded everything that is holding us back, every negative pattern, demolished and left in the distance. And what remains, the center, the core of our being, our human life, the ability to love and to strive. And from that place, powerfully, courageously, to take a step forward into something new and to say, I don't care if it is difficult. I am on a path. I cannot be stopped. I am moving in this direction of health. And how exciting is that? That's what I want. See, the intensity can be exciting. The intensity itself can build the encouragement, is building up a force to break through and smash through every barrier that stands in your way. Create such an unstoppable, powerful mindset. You say in 2026, nothing is going to stop me. You're going to stop a supernova? You're going to build a wall in front of it? As in nothing is going to stop it, right? It literally builds thousands of miles of iron thick barrier, and it just vaporizes it in an instant. That's what we want to do with everything that stands in the way of us experiencing the health that we want in this year. Doesn't mean that isn't difficult to do. I'm not suggesting, we can just vaporize every problem. We've got to go through a process. But the mindset that this is showing us is that process is possible and that there is power and strength within us. We literally are the star. Bodies are built out of this stuff. We already went through it. We went through it. We were right in there, in the middle of it. Boom. Now we're back in a cycle somehow. And now, maybe that deep experience, maybe that's part of this reality itself. Maybe that's where the human spirit comes from. The fact that, we have been through the most powerful experiences in the universe. We have the ability to overcome, to set the goal, to power through it. Well, I was reading just all this fascinating stuff this weekend about supernovas and all this stuff. It was talking about the incredible amount of energy that is in things. And it's because we don't appreciate, the star, the supernova is tapping into the nuclear forces. You think about an atomic bomb, right? That there's so much more energy than we can see. And it was saying, just pick up a paperclip, the one thing I was reading. Saying you just pick up a paperclip, you say it's not food, you say it doesn't have energy, it's not we wouldn't think how much energy is in a paperclip. But in the nuclear force of the paperclip even, is like the energy of an atomic bomb, basically, just in the paperclip. And so just the energy that we are surrounded by and that we are made out of. And if you're ever feeling low energy, which I know is something that, so many struggle with, sink in here on a fasting space this year, because the fasting space, we've got energy in our body, just like this little paperclip, right? We've got so much energy there. We have to bring our body, our being, into alignment in order to access it. But it's there, and if you have struggled with a low energy for a long time, I just tell you, think of the star. It went along a process for so long, and then it flipped the switch. This is what we want to do in a fasting space. Metabolically flip the switch, reset the hormonal structure of the body so that the cells that are trapping all that energy inside us can open the bay doors and let it fly out. I want this for you. I want 2026 to be an incredible year of energy. I want you to feel like, man, the energy is just flowing out. That process can look like weight loss, but it can just look like energy. It can look like enthusiasm and positivity. And to say, I just feel better. Like it's easier to get up. It's easier to be active. Like I can feel the energy flowing. This is what we really want. This would be a level deeper than weight loss, to say, I am tapping into energy here that is powering my life. I'm having a good time. That's what I want for people. I don't want any kind of process to be like, oh, I'm struggling through a space. Oh, I feel worse. I want everybody feeling better. I want people feeling positive energy, feeling empowered, people realizing, man, I am feeling this energy just flowing out. That's what I want personally. I want the energy, as I've experienced it in my life. I've said on the channel, I'm a big exerciser. Now, when I started, the first time I started reading online, I saw people do fasting exercise. I said, oh, no way. Oh, no, man. And the first times I tried to do it, I couldn't do it. I tried to get on my bike. I have a stationary bike downstairs as a winter. I say, okay, my routine always had been, I get up, I drink orange juice, I eat a banana, then I hang out a little bit. I let the digestion happen so I can, power up with the carbs right there so I have energy to do it. Then I exercise. I did that for years and years and years. And so then to stop that, say, get out on my bike and, but no food. Okay, the first times I'm like, oh, hard to move. Oh man, this is something. I feel a little dizzy. You feel like, oh, where is the energy? Okay, the body is like, what are you doing to me? Okay, but that's day one. And take it easy. I just turn the pedals over a few times. Like I say, you got to sit before you can walk. Like we just got to open up this space a bit. But then the next day, you say you just work at it a little bit. You're gentle. And for me, it took about 6 weeks. And by 6 weeks, I was exercising harder than I'd ever exercised in the fasting state. And now I greatly prefer it. I'm going to go do some intense exercise. Now I would always want it to be fasting. Like I don't want to be lugging around a gut full of food when I'm trying to bust it. And you realize, oh, when you train the system, this is how you get access to this energy. The power is there. You have to train, say, the body to do it. This is the type of idea. Now, you don't have to become a fasting athlete or anything. Just say you just open up as much of this space as it benefits you. Where you can say, hey, my life is better. I've got energy here. I can do, the stuff that I need to do in my day. I'm finding joy and peace and presence in it. That's all we're trying to do. But if you like the intensity that I'm describing, go for it. Sky's the limit. Some distant star, you say, is the limit. But it can be very simple. Grab a coffee, okay? And just chill out. Doesn't have to be anything more than that. Doesn't have to be intense in any fashion. It's like whatever season you are here for. If it is just chilling out your way to weight loss, that is my default. Today I'm trying to bring you more intensity. The biggest thinking. But we can bring it back down into something very chill, float through it. Okay, last week I started reading you this book. I gave you this insights from The Mountain is You. Okay, the mountain is me. The mountain is all of us. We are trying to move in a direction of health. Pat says, a real commitment to a weight loss goal evolves into a mental, emotional journey. Navigating through that into a shift in lifestyle. It's permanent to be successful. Absolutely. I totally resonate with that. Trying to create a way of being in the world that is in alignment with your values and that helps you walk in a direction, you say, is not permanent in any sort of standpoint of like, oh, you're trapped in a process and you can never get out of it. But it's like, if you actually found it, if you said, I dove in to a mental and emotional journey and I walked on a path where I found a place of peace and contentment that brought health and life and vitality to the body and the mind, like, why would you ever stop it? That's what I say. It's not like you're trapped in it. But this is the goal, right? To find a permanent process, your way of being in the universe, in the world that balances all the forces. So that from that space, you say, hey, I'm good in this space. I don't need anything else. Like, I think one of the most frustrating spaces in a weight loss space is to say, oh, you find one thing that you do for a while, and then it's like, well, maybe it works a little while, and then you have to find something else. and you think of the billions of dollars and the products and the consumption of just ongoing cycles. And to me, what I want people to find is, I want people to find the last thing. Like, that we don't need another thing all the time. To realize, actually, we don't need anything. This is the incredible metaphor, or just reality of what fasting is. It's nothing. You can't buy it. And you don't need anything other than nothing. It's just an incredible thing to realize. Realize my body is powerful, has energy right here. We can flow through this space. I don't need to buy another product. I don't need anything else. We can just sit here in this space. For me, weight was a symptom of a greater need for change in myself. This is what I'm talking about, trying to get to the deepest level. We did the question the other day. Was it just from this book? What really is the question? Is weight loss the mountain, or is it something deeper? There are deeper levels, and I encourage people as much as I can to try to drill down to the very deepest level, the core of your being, the heart of the star, with the core. That after the supernova's blown everything away, what is left? And whatever that is the mountain. And we want to get that, the center of our being, the core of ourself, where our peace and contentment reside, where resentment is blown away. Absolutely. Weight loss process we can see is about change. Okay, that's like the simple, basic reality. We have had a way of being in the world. The body has responded to that in a certain way. Say, this is reality. This is how it is. So we say we have to change. So on a certain level, we say, okay, change we understand is necessary. But what really is the change? Is it just a calorie, like we were saying? Are we going to track a spreadsheet? We're going to just change some calories, and is that going to be the permanent way of being that fixes everything? Or is it deeper? A book like this, I think, would suggest that that really it is deeper. So I read this part from the introduction. This is where I left it last week, where we said when we can no longer rely on our coping mechanisms. To distract us from the problems in our life, it can feel like we've hit rock bottom. Have you been at a place like that? The reality of this sort of awakening is what happens when we finally come to terms with problems that have existed for a long time. And this is showing us that point, we fear it. We say, whoever wants someone to be at rock bottom is like, I don't wish it for anybody. But the book is pointing out that point is often the tipping point that precedes the breakthrough. Okay, that's where I ended it on Friday. And look at the next sentence, and you can see where this show came from. The moment a star implodes before it becomes a supernova. Okay, that's the next sentence. Rock bottom, we say we don't wish it. But that point is the tipping point when everything can change. You say the star was going so well and then imploded, oh my gosh, but then it explodes. Then it's the most brilliant thing in the universe, right? We're doing some reflection last week. Okay, if we're on a path, does that mean I have to go through some difficult thing? And we struggled at that point, where it's like we don't wish struggle on anyone, but then we just look at the reality and say, well, life is full of struggle. Life is a struggle. And then, of course, we have a goal of minimizing struggle, but sometimes we have to go through this process. You see this tension. what I would say is I don't wish any difficult course on anyone. Just what is necessary in order to walk the path to this place, like we're saying, this permanent state where we say, I've accomplished, I've overcome, I have solved this thing that has been so difficult for so long. We use the experience of growing through it is how a process becomes sustainable for us to master something, to overcome it. And so what I say, the thing to think about is, have you already been through it? This is the most positive thing I can think. Like, who out there has not had a dark and difficult experience? And who has not reached, who has not had that, where you reach a place like, I just feel so low, okay? It's like, have we already crossed through it? This is what I say, to open our mind. And are we looking back now on it and realizing I don't need to go back to a place like that? Already been there, thanks. Say, I'll pass on another rock bottom. We don't need any more of it. But can we say, that was enough for me. That is a platform that I can see where things have gone, and I'm just going to springboard off of that from here, because we're generating as much as possible the most positive mindsets that we can possibly have. Share yours. I don't have a monopoly on good ideas. I'm trying to suck up as many good ideas as possible. So I was going to say it's not a competition, but like it could be. Like let's compete. Who can come up with the very most positive and thoughtful mindset possible? We'll all put our heads together and make it happen. Historically, mountains have been used as metaphors for a spiritual awakening, a journey of personal growth, of the insurmountable challenges that seem impossible to overcome when we're standing at the bottom. Like so much of nature, mountains provide us with an inherent wisdom of what it will take to rise up to our highest potential. This is what I want for all of us in 2026. Rising up to our highest potential. Accomplishing the goal. Remember what I said? What is the most important question? What do I really want? I ask you, what do you really want in 2026? Like, really, if you could have anything in the world, like, would health be that thing? I would say a lot of people would say, fill up my bank account, fill up the vault with diamonds and gold and whatever. I would say the thing that we should be striving after, health and good relationships, that's the positive way of being. Where are you going to end 2026 more content? To me, I will say, let's take the good health and the good relationships. The book says the object of being human is to grow. We see this reflected back in every part of life. Species reproduce, the edges of the universe always expanding outward, like our ability to feel the depth and the beauty of life. It's capable of expanding forever, including inward, if we're willing to take our problems and see them as catalysts. Forests need fire to do it. Volcanoes need an implosion, and the star needs to collapse. Human beings often need to be faced with no other option to change before they really do. So here we're faced with that same moment. Standing on the threshold to change, to accept the process so that we can become something new. That's what it means in this book, is what they're saying. To climb the mountain, to do the work, and not to sit in the valley, but to accept the path might be difficult. There's going to be obstacles, challenges, things along the way we did not expect that in the moment might even be challenging to get through. But we say, but I am on a journey. I am going somewhere different. Even if something is difficult, I no longer want to stay in the valley. I want to climb. Do you want to climb? You've got to want to climb. Can't climb a mountain if you say, I just really want to sit. And if your space where you're at in your life right now, nobody can force you to take a journey. Right? And maybe the thing is, like, this is the time. Say, I'm not ready to climb. It's perfectly fine. Say, I'm just fine sitting down in the camp. Just going to look at the mountain. That's perfect. See, that's openness. That's acceptance. I've described a lot. Walking on the river. Okay, you don't have to jump right in. You say, I don't know that I want to swim this river right now. You can walk along the riverbank. The star is floating along for a long period of time until the moment when it changes. Maybe that's just where you want to sit after a space like this. We talked through some intensity today. Supernova, very intense. See, I'm not necessarily ready to go supernova my life right now. I think I'll just keep floating along in the gentle space for a while. Totally a reasonable choice. But just have in the mind that the openness to it is possible. Keep thinking about it, mulling it around. And does the switch flip? One day we go full iron in the star and we just go. Blessed to have you here. Thank you for sending the note. Hope you're doing so well today. Absolutely. Listen to this. I hope this section is very encouraging to you. To me, it is very encouraging. Remember, we're not looking after perfection. Okay? To have a mountain in front of you does not mean that you are broken in some way. Everything in nature is imperfect. It is because of the imperfection that growth is possible. Saying basically, if everything was perfect, they say if everything existed in uniformity, then the gravity that created a star and a planet and everything we know would not exist. Without breaks, faults, and gaps, nothing could grow and nothing could become. The fact that we are imperfect is not a sign that we've failed. It is a sign that we are human. More importantly, it is a sign that there is still more potential within us. I'm loving that book so far. Loving that book. There is more potential in us. That is 2026. 2026, it is all sitting in front of us. It is a blank canvas. It is an open space. Look at this open space. Huge open space. Perfection is not required. We have the opportunity to create an experience for ourselves here. An exploration, a journey, a process of health, figuring out a way of being, taking the brushes that we have and painting them on the canvas and seeing what it looks like, you know. We got different brushes, different colors to create this experience. One of those brushes is a fasting space. Just to open up space and let the body work and run to release energy. And then we've got every other good practice of health that we can stack on top of it. our healthy food choices, our gentle movement practices, or even our not so gentle practices. If we're called to do it, we bring the intensity if we want, but nothing required. And then the beautiful mental health practices that really might be the very most important. I did a meditation over the weekend, which is something that I talk about. It's a practice I personally try to build, but there's difficult. And I went through the same process that I've described previously on the channel. I had a beautiful opportunity. My family was going out, my wife taking kids for some appointments. I'm at home. I was feeling stressed this weekend. I was feeling anxious and overwhelmed, and I thought about all the things that I could do. Oh, I have a quiet house. And the thought came in there, you should really probably open up a meditation space. And then I fought with it, because oh, I don't want to do that. Because of the barrier to entry to it, because I know what it's going to be like. I'm going to sit there, I'm going to feel anxious, all the distractions are gone. Wouldn't it be easier? I'll scroll on my phone, I'll learn. Isn't it good to learn? There's crazy things happening in the world, and then I can know more about them, I think. I saw a stat this weekend that the average American scrolls 300 feet of scroll in the average day. That if you measured on the screen the length of all the scrolling, that it would stack up 300 feet tall. It's a Statue of Liberty tall that we scroll through it. And so I was thinking about actually that quote, that idea, as I was sitting there. I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. That is not healthy. That is not going to put me in a better state of mind. I have gotten in different points in my life. I think it's 3 years that I have been doing my best to practice a meditation. I've tried to be the type of person, practice what I preach. I certainly do that with fasting. Meditation is if I just, try to do a little self-evaluation, I say fasting, I'm pretty good at that. I've been dialed in on that for over a decade. I feel really good with myself on a fasting. And exercise, something I work at. I rate myself pretty okay with that. But a meditation practice, I'm like a rookie, very novice, okay? But what an incredible, powerful tool. Another thing. And last summer especially, I really got in a groove with it for, a solid month where I was really kind of in a groove, and then, I get out of it. I want to encourage you in this space, though, as we're floating through some space. Meditation, like fasting in our society, so easy to overlook. Not a lot of people in contemporary culture saying, oh, you know what we really need to do? We need to just sit in an empty room by ourselves and shut off the phone for a while. Doesn't that sound fun? So it's another thing like fasting, you can't sell it. It's not a thing. Fasting, another thing that is nothing. Here we see how it is the same. Fasting nothing, yet it is something. Fasting nothing, yet it can bring health and rejuvenation to the body. Just like a meditation is nothing, but it can bring health and rejuvenation to the mind. Here's what my experience was this weekend. I had 1 hour, I ended up with 1 hour. I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it, because my experience has been that when I really commit to doing it, I initially find it difficult. I regret it. I think things like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Is this, all these catastrophic, is this what my life has become? I'm just sitting here. I think I'm some, person. I can, I don't know, just stupid thoughts that some center is trying to keep you from doing it. I don't know. That center that's addicted to the dopamine, that just wants you to go scroll on something or read something or just keep doing things. To me, that's what feeds the anxiety. A meditation space is the process of calming that down, of putting that whatever it is in its place. Just like fasting, paradoxically, you say, oh, the barrier, say, I feel hungry. Hunger itself, you can think of it like a type of anxiety. It's saying like, oh, this is not okay. I need something here. It's like, okay. And fasting actually is the process where you say, no, actually, it's okay. No, you don't need it. And then you burn through the hormones that are controlling that. The hunger goes away. That's the process of how we control it over time. You say, I want to get control of hunger. Well, ironically, paradoxically, fasting can help you do that over time. But in the short term, you haven't been practicing fasting or something, can you experience more hunger? Absolutely, of course. Okay, now meditation, the same sort of thing. You say, oh, well, I'm feeling anxiety. I'm feeling all these thoughts, this pressure, these things I have to do. Well, you're going to shut off all the phones, the screens, everything, and you say, I'm going to just be present with myself for a little bit. Like just like the hunger in a fasting space, you can become more aware of it, okay? Well, you can become more aware of the anxiety in a meditation space because now there's no distraction. Now there's nothing else. This is a big barrier for me doing it. Do I really want to confront that? And so, I don't know. It's been like 2 weeks. The holiday has been a big time. I didn't take any time to do it. We're just going from one thing to the next. I didn't have any meditation practice during that time. Took no mental health space. I think I was totally, feeling it. So here was the experience. Family's gone. I go down in my quiet little office. I turn off the lights. I turn everything off. And I feel like this, do you feel that? And I think I want to grab the phone. I want to do something. You got to make it, in my experience, like the first 5 minutes of something like that is like, okay, we're going to make it through it. Just going to breathe. We've gone through the box breathing. I went in on a box breathing. And things calm down. And then you start floating through the space a little bit better. And I had just a fantastic session, actually. Difficult to commit to, difficult to start, difficult to sit in that space. But then, once you get through that initial 5 minutes, then I started to feel it. Oh, I said, actually, look, I'm okay. And I could feel the anxiety coming down. It's like, oh, there it goes. I practice breathing it out. I'm doing the box breathing on the exhale. Picture the anxiety just flowing out, breathing in peace and contentment. Breathing out the anxiety. Feel the tension in the body. In that sort of space, then I start to feel personally, okay, the tension in the jaw, neck, shoulders. Let it all out. See, these two very connected. We've gone through this powerful, I think, hopefully you would agree, powerful session today. Powerful thinking, like big galactic scale analogies, okay? And then we said, okay, we can bring incredible intensity to a situation to accomplish a goal. And then we said also the other side of it, we can bring it back. Mountains can be intimidating, okay? And nobody forcing anybody to do anything. Here's another analogy. How beautiful is it just to say, I'm going to head to Colorado and I'm going to rent a house for the weekend in the mountains and I'm just going to sit and look in the mountains. Like, there's an incredible analogy too. Like, mountains just beautiful in their own. You don't have to do anything to appreciate a mountain. You can just sit and look at it. And then from that space here, we flow into this space. That in a meditation space, actually, there's the ultimate not doing. Especially if you're fasting and meditating. And it's like, then the whole body is openness and the whole mind is openness. And we're letting the body burn through hunger to find contentment in the body, to release energy. And we're letting things settle in the mind so that we can move on from anxiety. I'll tell you my experience this weekend. I got done with an hour meditation. One of the first times, honestly, most of the times when I do a meditation, I set my phone. a timer on my phone because it's like I got to go get the kids somewhere. But here, my wife had the kids. I say, I'm going to even take the phone out of the room. I saw a study. I might have talked about this on the channel where they were studying college kids that just having a phone on their desk when they're taking a test, even if it's turned off, diminished their focus and had a measurable impact on their test-taking performance. So I said, you know what, I'm going to get the phone even out of the room. I'm just going to get it away. And no alarm, because so many times I was like, I don't want to drift off in some meditation, then I'll leave my kid at karate practice, right? So I always have the alarm. But here, no alarm. And so it was over an hour, and I sat in the space. I got through the anxiety. And it's like the first 5 minutes, then you say, oh, it feels like a whole half an hour. But really, so it was really just like 5 minutes. And then all of a sudden, boom, the whole thing was gone. All of a sudden, like, kids are running in the back door. And I'm like, how long was that? I was like, oh, it was like 70 minutes. And I was like, see, this is why I did it. I was like, oh, this is why I did it. I had been flowing through this day, feeling anxious and stressed and thinking about all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I made it into this space. I gave space to let the anxiety go. And the rest of my day was so much better. Oh my gosh. I was breathing so much better. The tension was so much less in the body, and then the mind was so much more settled. And then the rest of the day, I was like, oh, I got out of the envelope of it, you know? I kept the screens off. I didn't feel any compulsion to I don't need to know what is going on. I don't need to bring this stress back to my life. As you see, you go through the barrier to entry to get into that space. I was like, I'm just going to spend time with my family. I've got an actual day off. It's a Saturday. I don't have to keep doing anything in this day. It's we need spaces like that. Okay. The body needs spaces without food if we want to accomplish metabolic purposes in the body, like resetting insulin resistance, getting our blood sugar better, getting the flow of energy heading back out of the body. It takes space to do that. And then to build a powerful mindset, the type of mindset that is okay doing something like that. Say, well, it can be a struggle to do that. I didn't call things, easy fasting. I say simple fasting because it's very simple. The whole process, it can't really get much more simple. And sometimes we can flow into a space like that and we say, well, it is easy. And certainly that's the goal. I want things to be as easy in any regard as possible. The whole point, of a fasting space program is to create spaces to build a powerful mindset so that we can flow through things as easily as possible. I want to minimize every bit of struggle for people possible. But then nothing about that process is closing our eyes to reality in any way. It's saying that struggle is inherent in life, and things that are valuable are almost always difficult to accomplish. That's just the way things are for whatever reason. Most things of value take work and discipline and progress to, work at it. And most things of great value take much more time and effort than we thought. And this is why I think the mountain is, the right analogy. Climbing a mountain is not necessarily an easy thing to do, but it is one of the most satisfying things to do. To say, people say a mountaintop experience. You say, you get to the top of a mountain. Say, man, I've really accomplished something here. This has been a goal of my entire life to get to this point, That's the journey. That's also the excitement. To me, all this stuff flows together. So the meditation space, to me, immensely valuable to my weekend. I want the experience that I had in that to feel mentally refreshed. I definitely want that. That's the state of mind. That's the way of being that I want you to experience. If you're buying what I'm selling, and of course I'm not really selling anything, I'm just, showing like this process. Saying, I get it, open space, fasting space. I want to flow in that direction. Okay, the way I want you to do it is the way I was feeling after 70 minutes of a meditation space. No anxiety, no pressure, not feeling any compulsion to have to do anything at all. Feeling settled, content, and just open and present in this type of world that we have. How valuable is that? As part of this, my thinking on supernovas and all of this and floating through space, I did bring 2 quotes that I found as I was reading through and thinking that I grabbed. And let me share these with you. This first one, Fred Rogers. Our world hangs like a magnificent jewel in the vastness of space. Every one of us is a part of that jewel, a facet of that jewel. And in the perspective of infinity, our differences are infinitesimal. I hope that quote can bring some encouragement to you in this day, in this week, as we're centering ourselves in this year moving forward positively. To me, I see that, all right, we're not alone. We are here together in this space, a precious opportunity. And we're doing our best to move forward in health together. Queen of Heaven is here. Good morning. So nice to have you with us here. We've been floating through a space here, thinking about the vastness of space, trying to build some incredible analogies. The biggest and the most positive analogies that I can come up with. I'll be curious what you think of it. Maybe hit the replay when it comes online and hit some of these analogies, a supernova. Be curious what you think. And here's the second quote that I came across that I thought was very interesting in this regard. Our little spaceship Earth is only 8,000 miles in diameter, is almost a negligible dimension in the great vastness of space. Spaceship Earth, which, we're floating on through this scene right now, it's taking us through the stars, keeping us alive, giving us everything that we need here to flourish. It was so extraordinarily well invented and designed that, to our knowledge, humans have been on board for 2 million years, not even knowing that they were on a ship. Okay, it's like we don't even know what's happening here. We're flying through the earth. And to me, this is like grounding us, helping us to find gratitude and presence. Say, we've gone through some really big, intense thinking in this session. Supernovas and stars exploding and just this incredible expanse of the universe, just unimaginably huge and powerful. And then we try to flow back through a space where we bring things back and center ourselves here. And this I want just to be a centering thing. Sometimes you say, okay, it can be so inspiring. Head through a scene like this, flying out into space, just opening our mind to these things that are bigger, so much bigger than ourselves. And then, like we said on the other side of it, we can bring things back. It's like, this is how we'll land our show today. Okay, we have flown out into space, try to open our mind and our thinking, and now let's land right here, back on Earth, in this incredible jewel of a place, so special. And can we increase in our gratitude and compassion for it, our understanding that we are not separate from it. We are part of this, like the quote from Fred Rogers. We are part of this jewel that is hanging in space. It means you have value, you are important, and we are here for a reason, and we can't always see that. But all of this has deep meaning, and we have an opportunity here in this day to ground ourselves here, to find gratitude and thankfulness for it, and then take a step forward. All the knowledge we have, all the history, our experiences, everything that we've learned from. Let's move forward in this day and take a step toward better health and wholeness, using that energy that is inside of us and radiating it out forward like the supernova out into everybody that we come into contact with, lightness and positivity. Really appreciate you all being here. Really a pleasure to share this time in this space with you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.